Hey friend, I got a question for you today. Hope you give it some serious thought. Are you ready? Are you cheating on God? Think about that. Give that some thought. Are you having an affair on God? You're asking yourself, man, what's he mean by that? Okay, I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. You know, God tells us in the Bible that he is a jealous God. And do we place things above God? Do we place things above our relationship with God? You know, God doesn't want our religion. He wants a relationship with us. He wants a connection with us, a one-on-one connection. He gave us a book. It's called the Bible. That book is a book of love letters to us. He's in love with us the way we should be in love with him. Some of us have wives. Some of us have husbands. Not me personally. I don't have a husband. I have a wife. I have a beautiful wife, and I love her madly. Some of you have girlfriends, boyfriends. Do you love them? Would you cheat on them? Would you have an affair on them? I hope you say no. But yet we have an affair on God. We cheat on God. We cheat on God daily. And how do we do that? We do that by putting things above God. I'm going to give you a situation. How do you think your husband or wife would feel if they came home one day and you looked at them in the eye and said, honey, I got a great idea. You know that spare bedroom up there? Why don't we move Jenny in there? You know, she used to be my girlfriend in high school. I got back with her on Facebook, Instagram, and we've been talking for a while. There's nothing going on between us or anything. We just talk, but she needs a place to stay. How about we move her up in the spare bedroom and, you know, maybe if you're busy some night, Jenny and I can go out. We can go see a movie. How do you think that would go over with your spouse? I know my wife, she'd be dropping some fists. And she'd be dropping some fists real fast. Some of you might know my wife, and it would not fly. But yet, we do that kind of thing with God every day. We should be spending time with God. We should be in his book of love letters. But yet, what do? Oh, we sit there instead of reading the Bible, his book of letters, his love letters to us. Oh, there's a TV show on the Idiot Box. I want to watch this. I don't have time for God right now. There's a game on. I want to watch that. I don't have time for God. The pastor talks for an extra 15, 20 minutes. Oh man, come on, hurry up, pastor. There's a game on. I don't have time for you to go over. I got to take the family out to eat. We got reservations. We do this kind of crap all the time. We don't have time for God. But yet, he has time for us. He loves us. He sent us a book. A great book, by the way. I highly recommend it if you haven't opened it up for a while. But what I'm trying to get people, we cheat on God all the time. There's a part in the book of Revelation, the book of, I believe it's chapter 4, the letter to the church of Laodicea. If you read that, this was pointed out to me a while ago. I haven't had a chance to talk on it. If you read that, it talks about being hot or cold. And if you look at it, it might not be what you think it means. It talks about being hot or cold for the Lord and being spit out. Do you know there's a story behind that? Laodicea was between two towns. I believe it was 60 miles to the north was one town that had hot springs, I believe. And the other town was 60 miles in the opposite direction that had cool springs. The one with hot springs, the springs were filled with medicine or medicinal qualities. And by the time it got to Laodicea, the hot springs had cooled down and they were lukewarm. And if you tasted them, you would spit them out of your mouth. They weren't hot anymore. And on the other hand, the town in the opposite direction had cool springs. And by the time that water flowed to Laodicea, it was lukewarm, and you would spit them out. So, it's not that the water was bad for you, and it's not that Laodicea was a terrible place. Sure, they had their flaws. We all have our flaws. And it's not that John was trying to tell the church of Laodicea, God's going to spit you out of his mouth. He's done with you. On the contrary, they had some redeeming qualities, but the problem was they were too far from the source. And that's what John's point was. They were too far from the source. They needed to get back to the source. They needed to get back toward God. And that's what our problem is. Many of us, we're too far from the source. We need to get back into the Bible. We need to love God more. We need to be more of a family. We need to show our love. And I was talking to a buddy of mine today who's a guitarist on our worship team. We need to make worship fun again. I've designed a t-shirt I'd love to get printed off. It says, make worship fun again. We need to make worship fun again. Worship should be fun. Worship shouldn't be dull, boring. Worship should be praise, fun, exciting. Bring us to our knees. We had praise team practice last night, and during the practice, at the beginning of the practice, we as a team worked things out. It was kind of tough. We said things that needed to be said for quite a while, things that could have been hurtful. We pounded some issues out. There are still issues that need pounded out, but we're going to get there. But during the first couple of songs, Carl, our drummer, I went over to him while we were playing, and we had fun. I could see for the first time in a long time, I saw him having fun. We need to do that when we worship. We need to have fun. We need to make a joyful noise to the Lord. And a joyful noise is just that, joyful, smiles. We're not to be up there looking like it's a funeral dirge. We're supposed to be up there praising, worshiping, having fun. Raising our hands toward heaven, clapping, singing, praising the Lord. So, my question is, are we letting the things of life get in our way of praising God, having fun? We need to get back to our first love, which is God. So, once again, I'm going to bring up this challenge. God, let me see the world through your eyes. Let me hear the world through your ears, and let me speak to the world through your mouth. And this is just a little short today. like I said, I'm gonna try to bring these to you more regularly, but I just hope you have a blessed day. So until we talk again, I'm planning on being on here Saturday. So not sure what I'm going to talk about Saturday. I've got an idea, but until then, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day, and may God keep you blessed, and fall in love with Him again. He's waiting to hear from you. Get on your knees and pray. Just talk to Him. Open the book. So, stay blessed, my friend.